What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back with another video on the channel, and today here's the laugh. Can't help but always laugh at my intros. Anyway, we have got another episode of the highest rated sushi restaurant in my area. This was heavily recommended. I thought I was done doing highest rated sushi, but a lot of my friends and family said, listen, you gotta try this place. So we took it to Yama Sushi. This is Yama 2. I don't know where Yama 1 is. It's located in Lodi, New Jersey, and it has a 4.5-star rating out of 692 ratings. Now, when I see 4.5 stars, a lot of times I will go into the ratings and actually check and see. Most of the problems people had were actually with Grubhub and their deliveries not getting there either on time or too late. That's not really the restaurant, so I try not to fault them. But the people who've had the food have all said it is really good. That is a good thing. It's got about 80 reviews. Not that high, but still relatively high. My criteria is usually about 500 or so. So anything above that, we are in business. Anyway, if you are digging the highest rated series and the soon to come lowest rated series, drop a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all that cringy YouTube stuff. Without further ado, let's get into it. I want to start actually with something different. We're not going to start with the sushi. I'm actually going to start with one of my favorite dishes that you get from Japanese style places. It is chicken katsu, and what that is basically deep fried breaded chicken. Italians would just call it chicken cutlet. That is what it is, but it is served with a barbecue-like kind of sauce. It's very sweet and very delicious. I'm starting, see, when I have to swallow like that, it's because I'm starting to drool. So let me just get you one. Let me just get you one real quick. They usually chop it up and serve it over rice. There is a bunch of vegetables here as well, but I just want to try the actual katsu first. Yeah. It's actually really good. Things I look for in this dish. The breading itself is usually not crazy seasoned. But what you want is a nice crunchy breading, and you want a nice soft chicken breast on the inside. And that is what they have. Add that to some of these vegetables, which actually been sitting underneath the chicken. The rice came on the side. I just put it in here on the side, you know, presentation purposes. And when you add it all together, it's just like a perfect blend. Normally people don't eat like chicken, fried chicken, or chicken cutlet, especially with rice. I don't know why I did. But the sauce, very sweet. It's just good. That is pretty damn good. And I love the crunch that it gets, but it's never too much. Let me turn it around for y'all. There we go. Yum. Yum. And it's crazy. A lot of, even like the regular just white rice that I get. Any sushi place, Chinese food place, it's like the only unseasoned rice that I can eat, and I love it. And this kind of stuff, the vegetables, you couldn't pay me to eat it as a kid. And now I love it. I'm getting better. Let me get a little more of that sauce on there. Is this the one? Yeah, it is. Sort of smells like barbecue a little bit. I made chicken katsu once homemade, and that was one of the main ingredients I use. Hoisin went in as well. In this one, I'm actually getting ginger, which I love, love, love ginger. Man, this just tastes different right now. You can tell because I haven't moved on yet that I really like it. And I love to eat a little bit of that sauce on the rice too. It just, yeah. Look at that. Also, disclaimer, I have to say this every time. I know I hold chopsticks like a not chopstick holding type of person. I've had multiple hand injuries. And I have fingers that dislocate. So sometimes it makes it hard for me to grip things really small. Doesn't really mess with anything big, but chopsticks, pencils, pens, it's tough sometimes. My hands will actually slip because they dislocate. And I'm not trying not to gross anyone out on camera and have a hand or a finger pop out of place. Just a little disclaimer. I always have to throw that out there. So good. All right, let's move to the next thing. I also had to grab my bev. Lemon lime, usual suspect. Haven't run out yet. Schweppes, one of my faves. I love that sound. Okay, moving on to the next, we're gonna get into the sushi. So we've got over here, you see all the way on your left, these are Godzilla rolls. Now what a Godzilla roll is salmon, whitefish, shrimp, crab, fried, topped with spicy sauce, eel sauce, and tobiko and scallions. That is a mouthful. You can see why they call it a Godzilla roll. Kind of resembles like a, this is gonna sound bad, I don't wanna turn anybody off, but lizard skin a little bit, because it's got like a green hue to it. But you can see how good that looks on the inside, it looks crazy. A lot of stuff. I love a busy sushi roll, so I'm interested to see how this one turns out. Whoa. That is good. That is really good. Let me try to turn this around so you can see a little without the sauce. See what it looks like on that side. So you can see all different meat going on in there. Tempura frying. Tempura frying anything makes it better. I also noticed that their pickled ginger is pink. A lot of times we tend to get like the white or the yellow. About what most sushi places around here. I do eat ginger on my sushi. Don't judge me. Ooh, that's good ginger too. That's the real stuff. Very strong. The frying just adds a little crunch to it. The fish inside is actually really fresh. There's cooked fish in here too, which is not normal for me, but obviously when you tempura fry something, it's gonna have a little bit of that. The real thing that makes this really good the eel sauce. I know a lot of people get turned off by eel, but that eel is actually very good. Even if you don't like eel, I suggest if you're a person that wants sushi, try something with eel sauce on it. I think you'll actually enjoy it. It's very good. Yeah, I'm eating all this. It is what it is. Good contrast to crab and salmon. I have to go back to the vegetables. Tripping. Tripping. And you can see, hold on, let me turn this for you a little bit. See that tobiko on the top? That's really good. First time having a roll with that combination. I'm a fan. I would genuinely go back. just to get this one. As you can tell, because there's none left. And this ginger is just off the chain. Don't make fun of my fingers. Okay, there we go. One more. You know I like my show and tell. That ginger's... Oh, so good. So good. Alright, now we got the OG. We got our spicy tuna and our spicy salmon rolls. Self-explanatory at this point. Crushed up salmon. Spicy mayo. A lot of times different places will put it either on or in. And in this case you can see it's inside, not on the outside. You see how spicy this is though. Big, big, big test for me. Big test. One second. Alright, let's get one of the salmon. It's good, but I'm not getting much spicy mayo, and that's big for me. I know you can ask for it on the side. See if I can get some on here. But throughout the roll, it more or less just tastes like a salmon roll or a tuna roll and not a spicy one. So the fish itself is very good. Fresh. But I'd be lying if I said I'm getting a little bit of a kick at the end, but I've had some places where their spicy mayo is like, it's killer. And this is just, it's good, but I would just like more. I know you can easily remedy that. You can ask for spicy mayo on the side, but I like to try it as is. So I'll just leave it at that. Still a good roll. No issues here. Next time if I got it, spicy mayo on the side and you got yourself a W. But nonetheless. Alright, now we're moving on to the Mercer Roll, which is what you see right here. All that is a crab stick tempura. Cream cheese and spicy salmon on top. Very, very simple roll. But you can see with the spicy salmon on top of there that there is a lot of spicy mayo sitting right there staring at me in the face. So I have a feeling that this one's going to be a lot better. I love the cream cheese aspect inside of sushi. I know it's not necessarily traditional, but Philadelphia rolls are very common around here. There's also an asparagus and cream cheese roll. They call it different things depending on where you are, which is really good, but it just adds something to it. See, that spicy salmon on there is incredible. Because there's a lot of spicy mayo. And then you get that creamy cream cheese coming through on the bottom with that crab stick. All they had to do is add more of that mayo. Mayo's got a good kick to it. For anyone wondering, by the way, I rarely, if ever, will add soy sauce to my sushi. Reason for that being is a lot of times I would go to more high-end sushi places, and these types of places, they serve you the rolls. The cook, the chef, the person making the sushi will actually bring you out the sushi they want you to eat. And one of the things that is kind of impolite, frowned upon, is to ask for anything. It's kind of offensive to the chef. So when I'd go there, I got used to eating sushi without soy sauce. I know it's very, especially here in America, like some people get like that like dunk and they just like in the sushi. I'm not gonna say I've never done that before, but it's really not my thing. I tend to just eat it as is, even though this is like a non-traditional sushi roll. But incredible. What's these noises, man? I don't even know what I say half the time. Unbelievable. Spicy mayo is good. I just gotta order extra next time. I gotta get one more of these. Okay, next we have got Calamari. I'm trying not to regional diction this, so I'm gonna say this very slow. Calamari. We've got Calamari. It just doesn't sound right. It's Calamari. Whatever. The difference with this one, a lot of people, you probably thought these were onion rings just by the look at them. Take a look at this. That's actually calamari. I'm sorry. That's actually calamari. So they used a like a panko breadcrumb and tempura from what I was reading. Usually you see this with a much different breading. These look like onion rings, and the actual rings are huge. Look how big that is. So I'm interested. I saw this and I was like, you know what? Let me try this out. I believe it came with one of these sauces. So I'm just gonna, first bite, no sauce though. You know the vibes. They did a good job on it. For sure. I think I'm crazy. Hold on a second. I know I'm crazy, but yeah, it is. It definitely is. Very strange. I actually never really get calamari from Japanese places, but there are 3 different sauces here, as you can see, and then obviously the soy that goes with the spring rolls. But the Katsu sauce is what came with the calamari. I'm gonna screw that up so many times. Calamari. Look at the size of this thing, but it's the same sauce. I thought that I might have used the wrong sauce, but smelling it and tasting it, it's actually the same sauce. So I guess they wanted to go with I guess would make sense. The breading is the same as a chicken katsu, and maybe like anything that's breaded, they're serving just like they would. So maybe it's just, I never had it like this. It's pretty good. But now what it tastes like is, I hope people know what calamari is. It's squid. It tastes like squid katsu. And in no way is that like upsetting. I love the breading. I love the crunch that you get on it. You don't get that when I order calamari from Italian restaurants. There's no like crazy crunch on it. The breading is much thinner, but with this thick breading, it's almost like a squid onion ring katsu style. And as you can see, the way I'm biting it, it's not rubbery, which is the big thing. And that takes a degree of difficulty when you're dealing with ones that are this big, because you don't want to overcook them and have them get rubbery, but you also want to make sure that they're cooked and that the breading is done correctly. Bravo. Alright. That's a dub. Must be a dub. I ate them all. Yeah, we like that. We take those. I have a whole case down here. They're warm, but as I've said before, this stuff really does keep my my drinks cold. The ice cubes don't melt. It's a massive W. I've left ice cubes in here for like 10 hours and nothing happens. That's why you always see me using it. The discount code is in my page. I'm not saying this because I was told to or anything like that. I'm just saying it because if anybody wants one, you get a little discount on it, and I do use it all the time. They're in almost every video I record. For that reason. Unless I go to a fast food place and there's like a drink with ice cubes in it, I might just start pouring it in there too, because I hate when the ice cubes melt. Anyway, this is the most popular menu item. Every time I always ask, these are their spring rolls. Spring rolls are done a little bit differently than what you would get with an egg roll. You can see that the paper is much different, much thinner. It's more like a rice paper, which you deep fry, and you've got the vegetables in there. And I love spring rolls. I'm sure these are gonna crunch. Well, I let that one out of the bag. Yeah. That is delicious. All right, let's try a little bit of this soy. That is delicious. That is delicious. They fried it perfectly. Good crunch. The inside. Still got a good consistency with the cabbage and the vegetables on the inside. Those are tasty. Good flavor too. Spring rolls don't have any protein in them. That's just a matter of fact statement. There's no but. They don't have any protein in them. I'm sorry. I just got in my zone for a second. Just listen. I should do ASMR with just spring rolls. It's not a bad idea, isn't it? Last but not least, my homeboys, the edamame. I go over this every time. They're just in the pod. People see these, they get intimidated. They're very easy to eat. You do not eat the shell. There's little pods on the inside, like beans. So what I usually do is I'll put my thumb right here in between and just squeeze. And then just push it out. Got an earthy, salty, good thing to it. Sometimes you can get them cooked in like hot chili sauce or different stuff like that. But I tend to just like them steamed. I like the flavor. That simple. I've watched people, don't do that. You're not going to like them. And of course, we got our miso soup. We can now throw over here. You guys move over. Miso soup usually comes with everything that you get from here. There's tofu in it. A little bit of seaweed. A lot of times it's instant. I'm expecting this to be instant. You can buy miso soup like packets and make your own soup. That might not be instant. Nah, it's instant. Still good. I like miso soup, but I don't love it. It's always just good. To be honest. I want to eat a little bit more Katsu. I got a story. Anybody who's stuck around, you're helping listen to my story. I thought about this today for some reason because for my birthday, my sister got me a gift, which obviously I'm very grateful for. We've always tried to get each other gifts, and I thought of a very embarrassing story about myself when I was a teenager. I think I was like maybe 17 or 18, which means I was a college student at the time. We used to have this store around us. I don't know if it's still there, but it was called Against All Odds. And right around that time, I'm not sure if you guys remember the designer Ed Hardy. Those t-shirts were very popular. So I went to get her one for her birthday. You know, they were expensive. The shirts would run anywhere. The cheapest one you could get was $50. But those were like very basic. And they would run you up, you know, 100 more and more. So anyway, here's the embarrassing part. I was in the girls section, the women's section of the store, looking for a shirt for her. And this beautiful woman approaches me. This is 100% true. I thought about it today. I'm super embarrassed still. At that point when I was 17, I was a lot shyer, than I was. I had really started to hit my growth spurt. Before that, I was kind of like a chubbier kid. By the time I turned 17 or 18, I sprouted from being like 5'9" to about 6'1". I was a little leaner, voice got deeper. I started getting more attention from the opposite sex. And not gonna lie, I was shook, flustered. So she approaches me. She worked there. Even worse. Normally I would say that she wasn't hitting on me. But there's something that a lot of women will do when they are trying to figure out your situation, is they will sneak in a comment to figure out your relationship status. So in this case, she said, you know, how you doing? You know, welcome to stores, anything I help you with? I said, yeah, I'm looking for a woman's shirt. And she was flirting. I didn't realize it. So finally, the last thing she started asking me about myself. Then she finally asked me, she said, oh, are you buying these clothes for your girlfriend? Me 4 years later would have gotten the hint. But I was so flustered that I replied, which one? Which one? I didn't have one girlfriend. But I was so flustered that I don't know what I was thinking, and I said it. And her mood immediately changed, and she was like, oh. She just walked away. I couldn't go back because then I just looked like a liar. It was really embarrassing though. She was talking to me for like 10 minutes. You know, I've been in stores many times where people like make small talk and conversation with you, but this was, now that I'm older, I know it was a little different. Like she was inquiring my situation, which I bricked. I fumbled that one. So, yeah. I don't know what made me think of that, other than the fact that, like, you know, my sister got me a gift, and I was like, I just had to tell my embarrassing story and get it off my chest. I hope she's married and has a wonderful life. I'm sorry that I sounded like such a jerk, but I was flustered. Sometimes, every once in a while, someone comes along and they take your sexy. That is a term that I use when you meet somebody that's so, like, attractive that even if you're not a shy person, you start fumbling over your words, you start getting nervous. I don't get nervous. She made me nervous. So that's called taking your sexy. I've had that happen a few times, where the person is so beautiful that you're and they're cool, and you like this, you can't get the words out, and when you do, they're the wrong ones. So, to anybody watching this who's had their sexy taken, I'm with you. It's really embarrassing. Really embarrassing. That was like 10 years ago. Still embarrassed. I'm embarrassed even saying it. I don't know, I had to tell that story because I was thinking about it before I got hooked on camera. And I wanted to tell it. So, anyway, food's delicious. I can see why it was that many stars. Friends and family recommended it. I thought everything was A+ other than the spicy tuna and spicy salmon. But that's because there's just not enough spicy mayo. The spicy mayo is actually good. Just put it on there next time for me. That's all. Anyway, this has been your boy King Shrats. Back in the kitchen tomorrow. More content. I'm supposed to like look at the camera when I'm doing this, but I can't stop eating it. Okay, put it down. Put it down. Stop eating all the time. What do you eat? Anyway. We back in the kitchen tomorrow. More content. I love y'all. Hand signs. Made it to YouTube.